Have you ever noticed that you're starting to hear a somewhat crackling sound from your vape? Don't worry, in this short video I'll tell you why this is happening and if it's something to be concerned about. It is good to get into the habit of understanding what sounds are normal for your vape. This way, if they change, you can easily identify if and where there is a problem. So let's take a look at the noises you might hear from your vape, why they can happen, and how you can recognise a good or a bad noise. So first let's start on the crackling or popping you hear from your e-cig. Now these noises are completely normal and are caused by your vape coil. Now you have to remember that you're dealing with an electrical device that is doing several things at once as your vape. As you draw on your e-cig, e-liquid is pulled into your atomizer head. The atomizer head has a coil inside it that heats up as you press your button. This coil then vaporizes your e-liquid into a vapor that you can inhale. As the e-liquid is vaporized, it makes a slight popping or crackling sound. This will be slightly more noticeable if your atomizer head is brand new. Now if you hear your vape crackle, it actually means that it's performing well and your coil is doing what it needs to. The ratio of the diluents in your e-liquid determines how thick or thin your e-liquid is. A thinner e-liquid means the noise from your atomizer head might be slightly more noticeable, as there isn't the thickness there to dampen the sound. Now even with the thicker e-liquid, your atomizer head is still doing the same job and making the same sounds. It's just buffered from your e-liquid. Now another impact on the noise from your e-cig could be the power output. The more power your e-cig is outputting, the louder it will be. A sub-ohm vape with the power turned up will pop and crackle, and it will be nearly instantaneous as the coil heats up hotter, much quicker than with a higher resistance coil. However, this noise won't last as long with a sub-ohm vape as it produces much more vapour, meaning you tend to draw for a shorter period of time. Now whilst the crackling sound may not be anything to worry about, if you notice a gurgling or spitting noise, you may need to adjust your settings. If you have an adjustable power vape and the wattage is too low, excess fluid can gather in your atomizer head. It isn't being vaporized quickly enough and will flood your coil, causing a gurgling noise or spitting. So try turning your power up slightly to see if this helps. So now that we know why your e-cig makes these noises, let's look into how different atomizer heads can affect the noises. An atomizer head can have different styles of coil inside. If the coil is mesh or has multiple coils, but it will also sound louder as you're vaping. Again, this sound is more noticeable when your atomizer head is brand new. So once your coil is bedded in, within a day or two of use, the noise will be much less noticeable. So now we've spoken about the popping and crackling noises, let's see what causes the whoosh sound you sometimes hear when vaping. Now this is caused by the airflow. As you draw on your e-cig, you're pulling air into it. This air runs across the coil to move the vapor from your vape tank to you. This is when you might hear a light whoosh. If you have a sub-ohm kit with wide airflow, then it might be more noticeable. At Totally Wicked, we break our tanks up into groups. These are categorised depending on the amount of vapour they produce: regular, high or ultra. So now you know why your e-cig might make slight noises, which is great, because now you'll be able to recognise when one of these changes. Once you know what is normal for your e-cig, you can tell if one of these sounds change. As an example, if you're used to a slight crackle when vaping and this changes to more of a gurgle, you will notice it and then you can do something about it. So while the crackling and popping noises your e-cig makes is normal, if you want to make it quieter, here's a few tips. Now the first is to take shorter draws. You could also change your coil resistance. The third tip is to lower your power. And finally, you could try closing your airflow. So this was a look at the reasons why you might have heard your vape crackle. It's a completely normal part of vaping and something that we get used to.